Good evening and welcome to WCBN Sports' official coverage of Michigan basketball alongside Adam Bernstein. My name is Adam Rich. We're delighted to be bringing you tonight's game. Tonight, the Michigan Wolverines will take on the visiting Northwestern Wildcats, who last took on the Wolverines in mid-December. Last time these two teams faced, it was a challenge for the Wolverines. They were able to pull away at points, but Northwestern, always a thorn in Michigan's side, able to keep things close in that game. Adam, what are the Wildcats going to have to do tonight to maybe pull one out?
I think that if this game is going to go to the Northwestern Wildcats, it's going to go to the end. I think that if Michigan has one weakness right now, it's their lack of depth, in that, you know, they have Isaiah Livers coming off the bench, the solidified six-man, but after that, no real bench players totally proved themselves and solidified themselves as a, consistent threat. So I think that if Northwestern can wear out Michigan's starting lineup and take this game to the end just like it did last time, they're going to have some success.
Absolutely. On note tonight for Michigan, a win would give them their best start to a season in program history. John Beilein has just been an incredible story, a real magic man for this Wolverines team, alongside with some of these incredible players he's brought in, guys like Xavier Simpson, Charles Matthews, that have really changed the culture and the mindset around this team, bringing an exuberant amount of confidence. Speaking of an exuberant amount of confidence, Ignas Brazdeikis, a guy who is always showing it off, flexing the dollar signs, running up the court.
And he takes after Conor McGregor, someone who is constantly exuding confidence. And I think that Iggy has really captivated this campus, captivated, honestly, the country at this point, and taken, not only Michigan, but the NCAA by storm. And I think that he's going to be the real impetus tonight to see if Michigan can pull this out. Their go-to scorer, and I would say at this point, one of their team leaders.
Absolutely. Last time when things tightened up, Ignas Brazdeikis able to kind of turn it into overdrive. Northwestern switched up the game plan on the Wolverines and began slipping under Xavier Simpson's screens, really throwing the Michigan offense into a rut with about 6.5 minutes left in that game. With the score tightening, Northwestern, I believe, actually took the lead at one point.
Right, yep.
Coach John Beilein actually subbed out his leader and point guard Xavier Simpson for Eli Brooks, who played every single minute down the stretch, save for that final defensive possession where an A.J. Turner shot just missed. Something we've seen a lot at Northwestern, the ball hitting the backboard and going in. Not the case the last time these two teams played, keeping the Wolverines' undefeated streak alive. We're going to take a quick break here for the national anthem, but we'll be right back with you. Once again, WCBN Sports' exclusive coverage of Michigan basketball tonight as they take on the visiting Northwestern Wildcats.
Active duty and veterans may keep their caps on while rendering the military salute. Tonight's colors are presented by the University of Michigan Army ROTC, and the anthem is being performed this evening by the Michigan Band under the direction of Dr. Richard Fry.
So what I look for to be the key matchup tonight is I think it's going to be a battle of the bigs. I think Jon Teske and Iggy Brazdeikis down low against Northwestern star player Derek Pardon. That's going to be the matchup to watch, because that's what really hurt Michigan in the last matchup in Evanston, was that he really couldn't defend Derek Pardon down the stretch. Even though Teske is more of a, I guess what you consider a classic big man, standing at, I believe, 7'1", And Michigan's only 7-footer for a long time, while Derek Pardon's only 6'8". You know, it's what many would consider a small forward or a power forward. He really is able to battle down low, you know, using his size to his advantage of the low center of gravity and control the paint. So I think that if a combination of John Teskey and Iggy and maybe even Isaiah Livers coming off the bench, maybe Austin Davis or Brandon Johns, you know, just utilizing that platoon to stop Derek Pardon, I think that's Michigan's key, and that's going to be a great matchup to watch tonight.
Absolutely, and as to keying in on Derek Pardon, it'll certainly be easier for the Wolverines with the news that broke just before the game. Northwestern senior leader and head playmaker Vic Law out tonight. He's been nagged recently by a lower body injury. It has kept him out. It'll surely be a tough void to fill for Northwestern. They'll have to rely, as you said, more on Derek Pardon, but the Wolverines late in the most recent game between these two teams able to double Derek Pardon down low and really just stifle this Northwestern offense at points late in the game. Really led to lots of tough shots by Vic Law.
Yeah, and again, I mean, building off that, I think that Michigan's key is their wings. So that, again, you know, I mentioned Iggy before, Jordan Poole, Charles Matthews, all the guys who can kind of play inside out. I think the absence of Vic Law is really going to help those guys because, you know, he is a key defender. He is a key defender for the Northwestern on the wing, and I think that, you know, our solid wing players, Jordan Poole, Iggy, whoever, can take a great advantage of that.
Absolutely, Ignas Brazdeikis going to need another big game for the Wolverines to pull out, as we said before, those 23 points. Massive late as the Wolverines offense stifled, and now without Vic Law, a guy who really is a rugged, hard-nosed defender for Chris Collins. The Wildcats will certainly miss him, but getting back to Chris Collins now in his 6th season at Northwestern, 91 and 75, a guy who has really revolutionized I don't want to say dormant Northwestern basketball program because they were never really that high caliber. At one point, the only Power 5 school to have never made a tournament before Collins changed things a few years ago. But Collins, a guy who brings some Duke flair to the job.
Yeah, no, people always talk about how great of a coach Beeline is, but I think we definitely need to give a lot of credit to Chris Collins for really turning this program around. And people always say how there's such a threat to Michigan, and, you know, Michigan being this huge powerhouse for so long, Northwestern kind of coming out of the shadows and, you know, taking the #2 team in the country to a one-point game last week, and as you said earlier, kind of always being a thorn in Michigan's side. I think that great credit to Chris Collins and the entire Northwestern program.
Absolutely, and ironically, so the last time Michigan played at Illinois, there was a comment after the game by one of Illinois' players that Michigan was a white-collar team. After a very rugged affair on Thursday night in which the Wolverines pulled out, Mo Wagner tweeted out jokingly, white collar, but exactly the opposite here, as you said. Two just blue collar teams, the epitome of the Midwest and the Rust Belt, going at it tonight. Just real quick before we tip the starting lineup for the Northwestern Wildcats: Derek Pardon, Anthony Gaines replacing Vic Law, Ryan Taylor, AJ Turner, and Pete Nance replacing Miller Kopp, who has been starting recently but has really only been playing under 20 minutes per game. On the Michigan side, same old, don't fix it if it ain't broke.
That's right.
Charles Matthews, Jordan Poole, Xavier Simpson, Ignas Brazdeikis, and John Teskey.
Really quick before tip, if you had to give one key to the game, what would it be?
I would say the key for Michigan is going to be stopping Derek Pardon because, as we said, Vic Law, a guy not playing tonight, a huge perimeter scorer for this team, for a team that really relies on him to be competitive and stay in games, a Northwestern team that has really relied on spurts from tertiary players throughout the course of the season to propel them to victory. And right now, it seems like instead of being a third cog, AJ Turner is going to be a guy who's going to have to step up and be a second cog, another guy in that equation. Ryan Taylor, a player who came in to Northwestern with an impeccable reputation as a three-point shooter, 41% across 3 years at Ohio and Evansville. Only 33% his shot, really missing this season. Still better than many of the Wolverines, but for a team like Northwestern that at times can live and die by the three ball and tough shots, for a team that doesn't really have the greatest individual isolation playmakers, Ryan Taylor is now going to have to be huge tonight alongside AJ Turner, a guy who really can play along the spectrum anywhere from really good to really bad on a given night.
That's a really interesting point you made there. I think I can kind of compare Ryan Taylor there to to Duncan Robinson, transfer coming in, a pure spot-up three-point shooter. And, Duncan Robinson definitely last year for Michigan was not the star of the team, but when he played well, that really propelled everyone else. And if you had to, the defense had to go and cover him, it kind of took the emphasis off of people like Mo Wagner and whoever the primary scorer is. So I think that, he can serve a similar role like that tonight.
Seven Nation Army blaring, the fans jumping up and down, ready to go. The tip underway, possessed by Jordan Poole and the Wolverines as Xavier Simpson now will take it across the timeline. Simpson dribbling around up top, swings to Brusdakis. Brusdakis over to Teske, who swings now to Matthews. Back over to Brusdakis, looking inside, can't find it in the corner to Simpson. Up top, Poole off a screen. No good on the shot, rimmed out, and the rebound there by Anthony Gaines.
That didn't fall, but that's a shot we can definitely settle for. Jordan Poole open three. He'll hit those eventually.
And for a Northwestern team that likes to play physical, a little off ball on the defensive side there. An easy shot for Poole as Northwestern now works it around. 15 on the shot clock. Feed inside to Pardon, looking to go to work. He's now double-teamed inside by Teske, and Brusdakis swings to the corner. Firing from deep is Gaines, but cannot get it to go, and the ball is being pushed back the other way by the Wolverines.
See, that was a great play there to double-team Pardon. That's what we said. The impetus is definitely going to be on him, and bringing the two defenders there was really helpful.
Simpson tries to drive baseline, misses, but rebounded underneath Brusdakis and powers it home for the first points of the game. 2-0 Wolverines as we dip under 19 minutes on the game clock.
That's that inside matchup that Michigan really needs to win. Iggy just out-hustling there and getting that offensive rebound, putting it back up for two.
And speaking of hustle, Derek Pardon seals early, gets inside, can't flip it in. Rebound John Teske. Poole pushing back the other way, and almost errant pass controlled by Brusdakis, who will now have to bring it back out and settle as the Wolverines look to get into their offense. Brusdakis now gets it back from Matthews, driving baseball, kicks Teske, the 18-footer, gets it to go.
If Teske can add that outside aspect to his game, then Michigan's going to be really hard to stop.
Absolutely. John Teske, we saw him at times early in the season try and step out and expand his range.
That's right.
Wasn't able to do it that well, but the other night against Illinois hit a three that, along with Xavier Simpson's, basically iced the game for the Wolverines as Illinois was pulling close. Now with 19 seconds on the shot clock, Northwestern going to get a corner inbound. Always a tough spot to inbound from. They'll have to be wary of a live ball turnover. On the inbound, caught inside, a spin move down low, but blocked by Teske. He looks to do a little bit of a point forward roll himself, but then decides better of it, flipping back to Matthews. Matthews now tries to drive baseline, cut off by Gaines, swings back out. Teske, 18 feet again!
If Teske can hit that shot, like I said, this is going to be a really tough team to beat. So far, the advantage in that Teske versus Pardon, all you're talking about, is going to Teske.
And with a 6-0 lead for the Wolverines, the atmosphere electric as Pardon tries a three, back rims it, rebound Simpson with 17:42. Wolverines pushing back the other way.
I love when Simpson gets there, but and pushes it himself. He just really controls the pace of the game in every aspect.
Wolverines little pistol action up top. Matthews tries to get inside, spins. Lucky there, a foul called against Anthony Gaines. Almost a travel on Matthews as he tried to pull that one out. Slid the back foot, but just beforehand, a foul called. And now with 20 seconds on the shot clock, going to be a baseline inbound for the Wolverines. Wolverines running some rub action. Brusdakis catches underneath, lays it home. Extending the lead to 8 points for the Wolverines. Northwestern, no answer thus far. And the usually vibrant Chris Collins is calm on the sideline, surprisingly so. Northwestern on the other side, it's now Gaines looking to work baseline. Trying to drive Matthews, gets in the middle, a tough fadeaway. Can't get it to go, rebound Brusdakis, who will look to push himself. Now flips to Simpson just across the timeline. Simpson looking to drive inside. Tries his patented hook shot and gets it to go.
It's so sweet watching a 6-footer put up the sky hook. It's magical to watch, and the crowd here loves it too, erupting at this 10-0 lead.
And an early blitz by the Wolverines. A.J. Turner on the defensive side there. No chance at contesting Xavier Simpson, and it's great to see Xavier Simpson attacking the basket. In that last game against Northwestern. He was stifled late as Northwestern dipped under ball screens, but there Xavier Simpson had the ball top of the key and was just able to keep attacking off of the push. John Teske, the unheralded seal down low, something he is so great at, using that massive frame to wall off defenders from contesting shots in and around the rim, and Simpson able to just flip it up, making such a difficult shot that we've really only seen from one Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He was pretty good, right?
He was pretty good at that shot.
A shot we've only really seen from Abdul-Jabbar at the professional level, but Simpson, who is absolutely building his draft stock with his and the team's play of late, looking to bring that hook shot to the next level, in addition to his absolutely stellar defense.
That's right.
On the other end now, Northwestern working the ball around. It's Nance who swung that one. Ball into Pardon. Now Pardon dunks, but right beforehand, a pass by Pete Nance, the son of Larry Nance. Speaking of former NBA greats, Larry Nance, a several-time All-Star. One of his sons, Larry Nance Jr., now on the Cleveland Cavaliers. They've been struggling as of late, but nonetheless, the Nance family, real stalwarts in the basketball sphere, as Miller Kopp now checks into the game for Northwestern.
Let's see if Simpson can do it again.
Simpson bringing it up, picked up pretty far from the hoop by Nance. Surprising considering Nance is 6'10". Simpson looking to drive him and use his quickness. Gets underneath now on Nance, twirls around and kicks back out to Brazdeikis. 15 on the shot clock, 10-2 Wolverines. Brazdeikis, a sidestep three, rattles it out, and the rebound secured by Derek Pardon, who, as you said, a true grit and grind type of guy down low.
That's right.
Other end, Northwestern looking to attack quick. A deep three by the sharpshooter. Taylor gets it to go. And one. Ryan Taylor pulled out a Jordan Poole move on Jordan Poole himself. Jordan Poole, we've seen it several times this season, kicking his legs out to try and draw the foul. But there, Taylor able to use it to his advantage against Poole, going to the line now for an and one opportunity off of a three-point shot. 10-5 Wolverines.
That's where you kind of see the youth of inexperience of Jordan Poole coming out. That was just an unnecessary extra bit of effort there for the contest. I appreciate the defensive effort, but you got to be smart while doing it.
And while it was much publicized at the NBA level, still college has adapted the same idea that defenders should not be able to land underneath the shooter, as Taylor hits the free throw and cuts the Michigan lead to 4 as we approach 16 minutes left on the game clock. Wolverines now getting back into their beautiful motion and offense. Teskey up top, swings to Brazdeikis. Gets Matthews down low. Matthews not quite the catch he wanted down low, but looks to go to work. And go to work, he cannot get swatted the first time, but gets his own rebound and puts it back.
You mentioned the motion offense. I think that's the beauty of this Michigan team. While there isn't one, necessarily all country talent, it's just 5 really solid players, and moving the ball around, working it around is their expertise.
Absolutely no sense of selfishness from this Wolverines team. Several players averaging in double figures on the season, as Pardon looks to go to work down low on Teskey and gets it to go. Use Teskey's body bumping into him, then flaring off. Excellent body control there from Pardon to lay it home. 12-8 Wolverines.
It's a nice finish by the lefty on his weaker right side.
Michigan now swinging things around. Teskey alone up top, puts it on the deck, but thinks better of it. Flips to Poole, who looks to go to work. Swings corner. Matthews, who now drives. Cut off down low by Turner. Matthews wrapping around. Now swings. Simpson pump fakes. Actually got Nance to bite. Now spins underneath. Can't get anything. Kicks Matthews. But Matthews, before he can drive, travels up top. And that'll be a turnover, bringing us in to our under 16 media timeout. Wolverines leading 12-8 with 15:01 on the game clock.
Obviously, it's not the coach who's on the court, but we were talking about before. Credit to Chris Collins. The game started to get out of hand. 10-0 run by Michigan. He calls a timeout, a smart timeout, at a good time. And since then, it's been 8-2. Northwestern, and I think that's a lot of credit to Chris Collins calling a timeout, calming his team down, telling them to execute the game plan, and execute they have.
Absolutely. Northwestern coming out a little more motivated out of that timeout, locking up a little bit more on the defensive end, still getting those feeds inside to Pardon. Interesting there, that possession, Michigan didn't double-team Derek Pardon, as we saw in the first game. Letting Derek Pardon go to work 1v1 against Teskey down low was a major cause for concern. On the first possession, actually, we did see Ignas Brazdeikis come in from the weak side to double along with John Teskey, but nothing there throughout the game. We should see that one continue.
Yeah, I think that Isaiah Livers will be a key factor in this game. I think that he is a better matchup for Pardon, and Teskey is a little more speed and agility. Nice shot to cover Derek Pardon. Teskey's bigger, but I don't think he necessarily has the quick feet of the lateral movement. And I think that either putting Isaiah Livers on him or bringing a double team, like I said before, will be really helpful in Michigan's game plan and cutting out the W tonight.
And for as good as we've seen John Teskey be at points this season, his post defense for a guy who is 7'1" and about 250 to 260 pounds has left a little bit to be desired.
Yep, I agree.
Sometimes it's him allowing deep catches and not quite doing his work early. Sometimes it's getting caught a little far out and not being able to repel a player trying to back him down. We've actually seen Teskey be almost impeccable in face-up situations, which is kind of surprising for a guy who at times has shown less foot speed, although John Teskey has been pretty darn good in hedge opportunities this season, controlling ball handlers as they look to turn around the screen, something credited to the Michigan Strength and Conditioning Program, which we have seen over the years work absolute wonders for players, both in terms of acceleration, deceleration, some of these less appreciated athletic traits that, with the rise of Luka Doncic, who I'd love to say it, one of my favorite players, a delight to watch him play, a guy along with James Harden who have really made deceleration popular in the athletic community with those patented step backs of theirs. But Michigan, the strength and conditioning program, always been top notch. Speaking of top notch, we've got two premier academic institutions tonight on top of their incredible basketball programs. It's incredible looking through the pages beforehand for some of these Michigan players and Northwestern players, several players who are National Honor Society, Honor Board, Dean's List, class presidents in high school. Ryan Greer, the backup point guard for Northwestern, plays a few minutes per game, hasn't seen the floor yet tonight, actually was the class president at his high school, left a year early to come here. I believe another player as well, a class president, that would be Barrett Benson, a real class act, one of the funniest guys on the team, according to both the school's media members and players alike. Coming out of the timeout, Northwestern with the ball. Taylor again fires a three, but it rattles out, and on the hustle rebound, it's Nance unable to get it. Wolverines back the other way. Simpson looking to push in transition. Things settle now. It's Poole up top, looking to drive Turner. Poole, pocket pass, Teskey slams!
That's where you really see the development in Jordan Poole's game. Last year, he was somewhat of a spot-up shooter and not much else, but he's really developing as a playmaker this year.
Absolutely. Last game, when these two teams met, we saw Jordan Poole emerge late as a playmaker. As on the other end, a beautiful layup there by Miller Kopp, a four-star recruit.
Teskey's got to do a better job there, getting his hands up and going straight up and contesting the shot.
Absolutely. Just getting back to last game, Jordan Poole had to become the primary playmaker late with Simpson out, and he did an impeccable job. Speaking of an impeccable job, Brazdeikis uses the rip-through in the left hand to finish over the trees inside, bringing the Michigan lead to 16-10 with 13:54 to go. On the other end, Northwestern working around, looking to drive Brazdeikis as Nance. Brazdeikis falls, Nance pulls up, banks it in.
Rubbing some his father right there.
Absolutely not a bad guy to learn from. Matthews on the other end, snaking inside. Simpson tries his luck from three. Can't get it to go, but John Teskey inside, as he always is, to corral the rebound. Kicking it back out, Wolverines with the ball up top, 24 on the shot clock. Poole looking to attack, attacks the ice defense, gets inside, passes Simpson wide open in the mid-range, but really, Simpson looked like he didn't know what to do with it, so the Wolverines will have to kick it back out. Brazdeikis slips a little bit up top, but looks to drive again. Simpson from the corner a second time, not quite the charm. Hits it off the backboard there, an ugly shot, and Northwestern once again daring Xavier Simpson, a 29% shooter, to beat them on spot-up attempts. On the other end, tough entry pass from Ryan Taylor, stolen by Teskey, a great high three-quarter front, and then the steal from him, foul on Pardon, something Northwestern cannot afford. Last game against Iowa, Derek Pardon got in foul trouble, and the team struggled as Pardon now comes off, and checking into the game is one of those class presidents, Bennett Brenson.
And you mentioned blue collar before. That was just a real hard-nosed play by John Teskey. He just looked like he wanted the ball more. Out-hustled Pardon to the ball, dove on the floor, and got it. Outstanding by John Teskey.
Shades of Xavier Simpson there, channeling his inner Lima, Ohio.
Both Ohio natives.
Jordan Poole now working around in the perimeter. Simpson again. He actually got that one to go, but a foul called beforehand underneath. Simpson can't believe that one.
Just his luck.
It was interesting on the catch. The Northwestern defender showed closeout, but then backed off to maybe try and get Simpson to hesitate. He thought about it and then decided, why not, without putting it down. Usually a tough shot as the jump shooter can't get any rhythm going into it, but Simpson there able to knock it down. Unfortunately, though, for the Wolverines, it won't count. Still 16-12 as the Wolverines will inbound now from the baseline. Teskey catch and shoot from three. That hit absolutely nothing. And securing it is Anthony Gaines back the other way. We saw it from Teskey from 18 feet, but from 22, John Teskey, just a little bit too much mustard and shades of Blair Walsh, swinging it wide on the shot.
Good reference.
On the inside now, Miller Kopp, he loses that one inside, stolen by Simpson as Kopp went to the floor. Simpson looking to push on Turner, uses his body and gets the foul called. It looks like that one's going to be on the ground, though, as Simpson actually lost that one before he was able to go up with the shot.
I really like that aggression from Simpson, and I think that this is what the Michigan team needs. As you said before, when he got the ball, it almost looks like he didn't really know what to do with it. He is a capable scorer, even though he isn't necessarily a pure jump shooter. He's really great at creating, as we saw earlier with that nice patented skyhook. So I think that if he can be more aggressive driving to the rim, that's going to be a great help for this Wolverines team.
As we were talking to earlier, the Wolverines really did struggle when they had to go into their half-court offense late, looking to push it a little bit more today as Simpson now tries to drive. 18 seconds on the shot clock. Matthews up top against Greer. Matthews tries to drive, but a foul on the swipe down in the baseline by Kopp. That'll now be 5 team fouls on Northwestern with only 12:07 inching closer and closer towards the bonus.
That's great aggression there by Michigan, and I know free throws aren't necessarily Michigan's strong suit, but anytime you can get the opposing team in foul trouble, I think it's a great tactic to employ.
Northwestern, a team not known for its depth. Charles Matthews, though, looking to attack it and get the team in further foul trouble, travels on that one. Had a nice catch at the elbow, a chance to attack in isolation with the floor spaced out, but alas, ball back the other way to Northwestern. Greer now flips to Taylor, who swings to Kopp, swings it around now to Gaines. Gaines looking for the double pin down action on the other side. Settles, swings up top to Benson. The kick inside now. Gaines looking to go to work. Fakes several times. Flails a shot up, but gets it back. It looked like Poole might have blocked that one. 10 on the shot clock. Greer now looking to attack Livers. Slips inside. Can't get it to go. Berenson, no good, and Teskey rebounds. Swing back to Poole, coming back the other way. Jordan Poole putting the moves on. Tries to throw a lob now to Teskey, but that one out of control. Miller Kopp coming back in control now the other way, looking to attack the basket. An attack he does, the left-hand finish, a beauty, Xavier Simpson. No choice really but to get out of the way on that one and try not to pick up his first personal foul.
That's where Simpson's size or lack thereof harms him, just the bigger defender finishing, the bigger wing player finishing over him. Not much he can do.
Score 16-14 now, 11:07. Next dead ball will be a media timeout as Matthews looks to work against Greer again on the post. Gaines shading inside, leaving Simpson, who will now shoot off the pass and rattles it home. Xavier Simpson extending the Wolverine lead to 5. His first three-point attempt first make of the game. Third time is the charm for this Wolverine. Northwestern now swinging the ball around. It's Benson up top, looking a little uncomfortable with the ball, so he'll swing it to Kopp. Kopp, a 19-footer, rattles it home. A tough shot over the outstretched arm of John Teskey on the hedge, but Kopp, such a talented young freshman, able to get it to go.
That's a big body to shoot it over. John Teskey standing at 7'1" with his arm fully extended, but beautiful shot there by Kopp for Northwestern. They just won't go away, no matter how hard Michigan tries.
The thorn in Michigan's side every single game. Northwestern always playing tough, taking after their coach, Chris Collins. It's Matthews now who tries a three. Looked like he got undercut a little bit there, but no foul call as Gaines gets a rebound and he'll bring it back the other way for Northwestern. Only down 3, could tie it with a three-point attempt, but Xavier Simpson will have something to say about that. Gets a steal and looks to push the other way. A lane to the basket and flips it in. The finger roll finish with his right hand. Use a little hesitation move to send Ryan Greer really flying to the corner on a pass, and Simpson then able to knife through. Speaking of knife through, Taylor able to get inside, but now finds himself against Teskey, who now swats his shot into the corner. A save attempt by Simpson, but to no avail as we head to the under 12 media timeout. 9:38 on the clock. Wolverines leading 21-16.
You mentioned that hesitation move there by Simpson. He almost faked a pass with his eyes, and he isn't necessarily known as a scorer, but he is known as a distributor, so the threat of his fantastic passing ability really disrupted the Northwestern defense and gave him an easy lane for 2. And that's where kind of your ability to create for others can turn into ability to create for yourself if that's such a threat.
Xavier Simpson now with 7 points on the night, 3 of 6 from the field, 1 of 3 from deep to go along with a rebound and an assist. A real Swiss Army knife player for this Wolverine team. A steal as well on the defensive end that led to the break, rewarding himself for the excellent play on defense. But with Simpson, a guy who's played 37, 38, 39 minutes each and every game, a guy that Coach Beilein recently hasn't been able to afford to give a rest to.
That's right.
Do you think that's more an indictment of the poor player, maybe lack of trust that John Beeline has in his bench lately, or just the confidence that John Beeline has in Xavier Simpson as a guy who is absolutely necessary to have out on the court?
I think that Eli Brooks is definitely a formidable player, and he's a great shooter, and he's a great offensive player, but I think he's more of a two-guard into one-guard's body, and he isn't necessarily yet in his development the playmaker and the distributor and the floor general that a point guard needs to have. And, you know, he can definitely put the ball in the basket, and he's definitely growing as that floor general point guard traditional one role, but I think it's more of a testament to the fact that Xavier Simpson is just so good, and, you know, seeing him develop into one of the best point guards in the nation with really rounding out his game in every aspect. You're seeing the offense start to come together, you know, just capitalizing on a three-point attempt with the already stellar defense and the amazing ability to see everyone on the court. I think it's a testament to how great Xavier Simpson really is and how much better he can even become. And like you said, his draft stock is definitely rising. You know, it's tough to succeed on such a high level, standing at, you know, he's listed at 6 feet tall, but, you know, even that's questionable. But he's made the most of what he's got, and I think that he's a fantastic player.
Xavier Simpson, a guy who, if you saw him in a vacuum, you'd probably think he's a running back,
right,
based on that stature, true running back size, probably about 5'11", 200 pounds. And yeah, like you said, that's before you factor in that bulldog mentality, the attack mode, that he is always in the attack mode, that he has put this entire team in, along with Charles Matthews as the emotional leaders of this team, captaining Luke Yaklich's defense on the floor.
I really think that while he may not be the most skilled player on the Michigan offense and in the Michigan team overall, I think that Xavier Simpson going down would be the biggest detriment to this team. I don't know if you agree.
I think I would have to agree on that one. And it's funny because looking back about 15 months at the start of last season, Xavier Simpson was a guy who really wasn't even in the rotation. Jerron Simmons had just transferred in from Ohio. He was supposed to be the greatest thing since sliced bread, filling that void left by Derek Walton as he moved on to the NBA, but Xavier Simpson, a guy who was able to crack the rotation early, and John Beeline just couldn't keep him off the floor. Speaking of not being able to keep off the floor, the teams are back here as Northwestern has the ball. Derek Pardon slams it home, 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Michigan defense swarming on that one, but Miller Kopp able to avoid the defensive scramble. Flip to Pardon for the easy deuce.
You just can't lose sight of Pardon. He's definitely their go-to player, and they're going to look to get him all to play.
And speaking of guys you can't lose sight of, Ignas Brazdeikis slipped a screen there from Poole, caught the pass, got hit on the ground, looked like it should have been continuation, but no basket awarded on that one. It'll be a baseline inbound now for the Wolverines as boos rain down from the crowd after that one. It looked like Brazdeikis got hit as he was going up, but the far ref decides not the case.
That looked like continuation to me, but I'm not the ref, so it doesn't really matter.
Livers now from the outside. Gets it to go, a rainbow shot.
3 points is better than, you know, you could have gotten the traditional three-point play, but instead we had to settle for the three, but I'll take it.
A little case of ball don't lie.
Exactly.
Here at the Chrysler Center for the Wolverines, and
Rasheed Wallace is in the building.
And the fans are more than happy to see it. Northwestern now working it around. Inside is Turner, but he bounced it off his foot. Northwestern going to have to be careful here to not let things spiral out of control. The Wolverines now in more of their 5-out lineup with Livers playing the center position.
I like this lineup, and I think especially with Pardon, you know, not only being 6'8", Livers can do his job and more on the defensive end.
Northwestern holding tight on defense, switching everything on the outside as Pardon now trying to deny Poole on the perimeter, but Poole is able to get a catch and now gets Pardon on him on the perimeter. Poole the step back. Gets it to go!
That was James Harden-esque. That step back, like you said, the deceleration to create space, and then hitting a step back three over the taller Pardon.
Speaking of Pardon, catches inside an attempted double, but Pardon too strong, too good, flips it up with the left hand. 27-20 now Wolverines as we approach 8 minutes on the game clock.
He's really talented down there on that right block.
Simpson now working on the outside, going under screens again, or Northwestern. Michigan not really showing any ability to rescreen off of that and attack as Northwestern comes back the other way. Turner now on the perimeter. He's got Brooks on him out top as the offense works around a horn set underneath. going to get a foul called as we will head into a media timeout. That one on Jordan Poole trying to guard his defender. A tight face guard on that one. Looked like there wasn't much contact, but nonetheless the emphasis on freedom of movement. Going to get Poole a foul called against him there. Only the second, though, on the Wolverines. We head into the media timeout. Wolverines leading 27-20. And Adam, we've seen a lot tonight, but what has been the most impressed you've been tonight while watching this Wolverines team?
I think Xavier Simpson, like we were talking about, he's really starting to come out of his shell on the offensive end. I think a critique on him, which is a very rare critique to ever have on a basketball player, you see it very rarely in the NBA, that he's too tentative to shoot. You know, you hear a lot about ball hogs a lot. You don't really hear about whatever the opposite of ball hog would be. Someone who's too scared to shoot. You see in the NBA sometimes people say it about Lonzo Ball.
Ben Simmons.
Ben Simmons, exactly. But I think that, you know, he's really starting to gain confidence in his own offense and his own ability to put the ball in the basket. He already has, I believe, 7 points, and he really has the ability to score himself. And while he can create for others, to be an effective point guard at this level, you need to have the threat of your own scoring to create the lanes for other people to get open. And I think that that's really starting to come together for Xavier Simpson.
And talking about the threat of your own scoring, a little bit of a parallel universe here within the Chrysler Center. The women's basketball team, too. Amy Dilk, a player coming in with such high pedigree, a little reluctant early in the season to score, but she's turned things on as of late, as has the team in the thick of Big Ten play now, doing well around the top 25. Lots of tough competition, though. Another player who we got to see frequently on WCBN Sports in the Chrysler Center, setter Mackenzie Welsh, a player who is the point guard of the volleyball team, but at times able to score on by herself. The dump play, something she really used to her advantage.
That's right.
Whenever the Wolverines needed a big point and other teams were doubling either Carly Scott or Paige Jones on the outside.
I think that's just a testament to, no matter the sport, you need a leader, you need a distributor, and if someone can really provide that impetus, it can just make everyone else around them so much better.
Yeah, and talking about making others better, the best example, obviously, this year within college athletics, Kyler Murray, a guy who can do it through the air and with his feet. You can call through the air the way he would normally distribute, but on the floor, on the ground, more of his three-point shot. It forces defenses to respect it and just makes everything else so much easier. Interestingly enough, earlier in the year when the Wolverines were playing against, I believe it was against Indiana, during a halftime show, Dan Dockich said, if Charles Matthews and Xavier Simpson can shoot a combined 35% from three, this is a national title team.
I would have to agree with that statement. I think that if they can really develop their shots to complement the already great shooting of those like Jordan Poole and Iggy around them, I think that could be a great help to this team.
Absolutely. The team just trying to get rid of the weaknesses, as most John Beilein teams do. Speaking of weaknesses, it's been a little bit of Northwestern's isolation scoring as they look to go to work with 5 seconds left on the shot clock. A foul now called on Eli Brooks. Looks like he held Pardon on that one as Pardon tried to slip to the hoop. But for Northwestern, so far we've seen 8 from Pardon inside. We've got 6 from Miller Kopp, really doing most of his work on the outside. But outside of that, no real consistent scoring threat to replace Vic Law thus far.
Yeah, I think that's a huge loss for this Northwestern team, and they're really able to hang in with the number 2 team in the country, minus their probably second best player, and I think that's a great testament to them and their program and their coach, Chris Collins.
8 seconds left. Pardon now working up top. Flips to Turner, who looks to attack. He's got Teskey on him on the perimeter. Turner looks to drive, slips, and a travel call on that one.
I think it's a travel. Is slipping on the floor a travel?
He had come up to gather the basketball and go up into his shot, but both feet moved, technically unable to keep the pivot foot down. And you know how officials are.
Right. There have been a lot of travel calls in this game, and I think that's been a trend in basketball in general. You've seen more of those calls in the NBA this year. You know, it's been a critique on the NBA and their officials that a lot of what players are doing is, you know, technically by the rules of the game illegal. And I think you're seeing that reflecting on how the way these games are being officiated.
As the officials say, a point of emphasis, something we've seen a lot, like you said, at both levels, where players are trying to attack on the catch, but often they catch stationary, and then they try and run into it rather than running in on the catch and attacking in motion, something we've seen a few times tonight from Charles Matthews on the Michigan side, who now has the ball, pulls up from the baseline, can't get it to go off the back rim. Several players in there, only one for Michigan, and securing it is A.J. Turner back the other way. Northwestern swinging around, down 7, 27-20 Wolverines. 6:51 on the game clock.
Great D there.
Livers back the other way, tries to pass to Matthews, but tipped, and securing is A.J. Turner. A play more likely to be seen on CBS this morning with the NFL playoffs. Kopp driving a tough pass, probably ill-advised underneath, got himself caught on the baseline. Turnover back the other way, Matthews looking to attack, uses his body, lays it in. A rare sight, Charles Matthews attacking the basket, a guy who at times this season has been more than happy to stop on a dime and turn around and shoot tough 4 to 6 foot fadeaways rather than going up strong. But there, Matthews able to finish with a little bit of authority, as much as one can have on a finger roll. Northwestern now working around, down 9, trying to run some floppy sets underneath. Turner able to attack against Livers, who swats it off the backboard, recovered by Pardon, who will lay it in and bring the Michigan lead down to 7.
It's interesting. For one of the best defensive teams in the country, you know it's going to happen. You know they're looking for Pardon to crash the glass, get that offensive rebound, and you just still can't stop it. He's just a talented player.
Wolverines, a little bit of pistol action. Catch the weak side defender sleeping, swing delivers, but the pass a little too high and out of control. On the other side, Teskey delivers. Livers now looks to drive. Kopp looks to step back. Pass inside to Teskey, who's sealed deep on Pardon. Brazdeikis now pumps corner, drives, hop step, rolls it in. Put a little bit of English on that one, but Ignas Brazdeikis able to use both hands from the right side on that one to bring the Michigan lead up to 9.
And there's a nice seal off there by Teskey, a play you wouldn't necessarily see in the stat sheet, but, you know, he kind of allowed for that 2 points for Iggy to happen.
That Ohio mentality, doing the dirty work and the things that don't pop up. Northwestern now working around, trying to run some curls outside for Turner. To no avail, guarded nicely by the Wolverines. Derek Pardon now trying to run some ball screen action. Caught, pocket pass. Pardon swings. Taylor from deep, can't get it to go. Hands flaring inside, knocked off of bounds. Last off of Derek Pardon, ball back to the Wolverines. On that one, Ryan Taylor had a good chance at first, but he pumped out of it and then took a tightly contested step back. A tough offensive possession from Northwestern, something we've seen a lot of late, really getting a lot of their points recently, either inside or on the offensive glass. Really not much going in terms of perimeter scoring lately.
And I think that's where the absence of Vic Law is going to come back to bite them.
Speaking of bite them, here's Xavier Simpson coming back the other way to attack. Swings to Brazdeikis, who, speaking of biting again, has a snake tattoo on his arm. Matthews drives inside, kicks Simpson again from 3, and rattles it home! Xavier Simpson, did somebody say, 3-point shootout, contested the marksman from deep shades of Kyle Korver from that corner.
Just like if Teskey's offensive game from out there can develop, if Simpson's offensive game can develop, it's a huge, huge, huge help.
And the run out now, Brazdeikis wrapped up on that one by Nance. That's almost certainly going to be a flagrant foul. The refs signaling to go to the monitor to review that one. Not necessarily a malicious play on that one from Nance, but certainly not a play on the ball, as Brazdeikis was in the clear ahead of him, and Nance wrapped up Brazdeikis, trying to stop him from getting to the hoop.
That's a really undervalued and underappreciated aspect of any basketball player's skill set, the ability to throw that outlet. I think that's not really something that's taught. It's more just like a sense and, you know, kind of a sixth sense that you can have of how open a player needs to be, how much touch and to put on the ball. It's something we see bigs like Kevin Love do forever. It's something we've seen Lonzo Ball do recently, and it's something Xavier Simpson just did there, and that just shows the extent of his playmaking repertoire.
Yeah, speaking of those two Bruins guys, I got to see a lot of growing up. Kevin Love, although only there for one season, it was incredible what he could do off of a defensive rebound. Kevin Love would just palm the basketball off of a rebound, pivot and fire in stride to Russell Westbrook, who would take one step and hammer it home. Two guys who both went up in the top 5. No one on this Michigan team who will go in the top 5. Those guys are all playing at Duke this season. But Ignas Brazdeikis, a guy who really came out of nowhere, bursting his way onto the draft radar. John Beilein has never had a one-and-done at Michigan. The closest thing, Trey Burke, a guy who only played 2 seasons, didn't play so much in that freshman season, but exploded as the player of the year in his sophomore year, got drafted 9th overall by the Utah Jazz. What can we see throughout the season that'll maybe help us figure out whether Brazdeikis will stay for a second year or whether he'll buck that trend and be John Beilein's first one-and-done player as a Michigan Wolverine?
I think that assuming, or I think it's a safe assumption, Michigan makes it far and then eventually makes the tournament. The way he really plays in the national spotlight when everyone's watching later on in the tournament, hopefully, against the, the tougher, I'd say, competition. If he can succeed under the lights against the big names, I think then that might lead to him leaving and trying to attempt to be in the NBA.
Brazdeikis attempts the first, can't quite get it to go. Shooting, free throw shooting to be more exact, something that the Wolverines have not been very good at the past 2 years. Luckily, though, for them, they really haven't been in many close games.
Right.
It seems, though, that the close games really only come against the teams that they should blow out. For example, the Western Michigan game, much of the Binghamton game. But so far, blowing out this Northwestern team up 35-22 now with 4:24 on the clock. And another thing, just getting back to Brazdeikis and the draft, a weaker draft maybe factors in to his decision and his torrid start to the season. Northwestern on the other end now, swinging around the perimeter. Taylor, open look from the corner, gets it to go. Swish is that one home.
Ryan Taylor, 3.
And interesting, a new sub for Northwestern. It's going to actually be number 35, Aaron Falzon, into the game as John Teske knocks home a 3.
His development from last year into this year, from being a real big man, raw defensive talent, to having that offensive free in his repertoire is fantastic to see, and a testament to both him and Beeline and the development of his players.
Northwestern now on the other side. Taylor looking to get some offense going for himself. Matthews deep in his pocket on the defensive side, but the kick now into Benson, looking to post up Teske, spins inside with the left, short rebound. Brazdeikis looking to push. He's got Brooks on the outside, doesn't quite see him, sees him a little too late. Brooks unable to get up a shot, and the Wolverines will now have to work it back around. Teske gets inside, spins quick, finishes, extending the Wolverine lead even further to 15 points.
It's classic ball movement there by this Wolverines team. No one's selfish, no one's looking for, to take a mediocre shot for themselves. They just work the ball around and try to find the best shot for their team.
And needing a spark, Derek Pardon back up at the table, waiting patiently to check in. Speaking of patient, this Northwestern offense, 10 seconds down the shot clock. Taylor fires from 3, gets it to go.
Taylor has a nice shot.
The Michigan crowd.
He kind of looks off balance a little bit, but, if it works, it works. And it creates space for himself and managed to put it in.
Speaking of shooters, Simpson again can't quite get that one to go. I guess that was kind of expected after he began 2 of 4, but nonetheless, Simpson hustles back on the defensive end, and he is now all over Turner. Turner swings over to foul zone. Gaines now has it on the left wing, signaling for the offense to run as he kicks up to Benson, who will try his luck for 3. Not usually a shot he takes, and a shot he probably shouldn't take there. The jeers raining down. Air ball, air ball, air ball from the Michigan crowd, and Chris Collins not looking happy on the Northwestern sideline. A real just questionable attempt there by Benson.
Yeah, when you're down by 12 against the number 2 team in the country on their home court, you cannot have those mental lapses. And, there's a reason there's no one within 8 feet of you out there. It's because you're not known for having that in your game, and you probably shouldn't be taking that shot. If Northwestern wants to have any chance to come back against such a good team like Michigan, they cannot have those mental lapses. They need to stick to their game plan and play smart and play efficiently and play effective.
As the old saying goes, if you're that open, you're probably open for a reason.
That's right.
And for a Michigan team that is so diligent when reviewing the game tape of their opponents, Coach Luke Yaklich really got a lot of buzz last season as a potential and almost definite future head coach, whether it is at Michigan after John Beeline or anywhere else in the interim or in the future. A guy who is just so painstakingly committed to detail. A beautiful Brendan Quinn article earlier in the year about the passion that Luke Yaklich has for just reviewing tape. And, we can relate, passionate for broadcasting up here, passionate for basketball as well, but Luke Yaklich, a guy who puts us to shame with the work he does for this team, for the work he has done in just transforming the identity of this team. John Beeline, a guy known for his 2-guard offense over the course of several years at West Virginia and at Michigan, but Luke Yaklich coming in and adding a little bit of extra flair to this Michigan team, bringing the swagger back.
I think that's just a testament to everything that goes into a successful program. You know, we see what happens on the court. We see Jordan Poole, you know, his fanatics and his flair. You see Iggy put up the money signs. We see all of us have it on the court, but what goes on off the court? You know, Beeline has been so consistently amazing as the head coach, and all of his staff is culminating with the product we see on the court. You know, this 16-0 start, and it's so much more than what you know, the common fan see when meets the eye.
The only thing more fun than winning is winning while having fun. We've seen it most pronounced in the NBA at times. The Golden State Warriors, the Boston Celtics, winning but arguing from within. Too many cooks in the kitchen, but really not an issue here. Everyone more than content to come in and be the sous chef for this Wolverines team as they take the floor. 2:12 left in the first half, 40-28. Once again, WCBN Sports' exclusive coverage of Michigan men's basketball. Adam Rich alongside Adam Bernstein. We've got other sports too coming up. A huge bout next Sunday. The Michigan Wolverines women's basketball team take on the rival Ohio State Buckeyes, sure to be hotly contested. Back now on the floor, Matthews working around, careful to avoid the travel in that spot. He picked it up earlier. Brooks back out looking to attack. Swings Teske again. Teske hits again.
Wow, I've said it before, but the development of John Teske from last year is looking like a little more like Mo Wagner this year, that offensive game expanding out to the three-point line.
And Mo Wagner, a guy now making a shade under $2 million this season. John Teske, I'm sure, will be more than happy to hear his name called in the NBA draft. On the other end, a guy who probably won't hear his name called in the NBA draft, A.J. Turner, a player who has had bouts of inconsistency this season, misses again. And it's Teske who hits again.
I don't know what John Teske became Steph Curry, but I'm all for it.
Pull out your umbrellas, folks. It is raining here in Chrysler Center, but on top of that, Charles Matthews, a slam on the other end. Off of a steal, the decibel meter comes firing up on the scoreboard, and firing up himself is Chris Collins.
Just
off
like
of
that,
the bench, calls timeout. 1:09 left, but Michigan effectively icing this one. John Teske, the ice in his veins from deep. Incredible, as you said, Adam. John Teske just killing it from deep. Steph Curry, the comp you made. We're going to hold the horses on that one for just a second, but hey, who knows? John Teske now shooting 3 of 4 from deep after that first just ugly miss. He's 7 of 8 in total. He's now got 17 points, far and away the leading scorer for both the Wolverines and in this game. Just incredible, and that's before factoring in the defense, where John Teske has 2 blocks. He's done a commendable job for the most part on Pardon, especially in the time when Pardon was out. Teske able to just control the paint, and he is really the definition of John Beeline basketball too, in that he's been developed. This isn't a program that brings in the 5 stars that, like we said, are being hoarded at Duke this season. This is a program that, as Charles Matthews, a guy who's been developed himself, almost gets a steal. This is a program that takes the 3 stars, the 4 stars, guys that they see flashes from, and turns them into players that they are always seeing the light from. No flashes whatsoever, because they're always visible. Turner now on the other end, forces up a shot, can't get it to go with 4 seconds, 42 on the clock. Wolverines maybe will push for a 2-for-1, but it looks like Simpson more than happy to just kind of settle and work the ball around the perimeter. Wolverines now pushing around. Brooks dribbling up out top, picked up by Taylor. Switch, now Pardon on him, swings to Simpson. Looking to cut, Pardon stumbling a little bit as the skip now goes to Matthews, who looks to drive Greer. Matthews gets Greer on the block, looking to go to work, spins inside, looked like he traveled on that one, but a jump ball called just beforehand. The possession arrow will grant that one to Northwestern, but Michigan now will get the ball to start the second half with the possession arrow changing. And with 17.7, Wolverines leading 48-28. Ryan Greer will bring it up for the Wildcats, looking for one last shot and to cut the lead just a little bit. But no chance. Simpson pokes it home. Simpson on the other end lays it home. And then defends the inbound to stop Northwestern from pushing out too quickly. No shot attempt whatsoever from Falzon. Teske, a heave, might have not counted a little bit after the buzzer, but the Wolverines head triumphantly.
That's how you end a half.
Into the locker room, halfway to 100. 50-28, and John Beeline. No smiles from him, but I'm sure he is grinning on the inside. Xavier Simpson, a guy you won't see many smiles from either in the middle of the game, a guy more than happy to flare it late as the swagger comes out, oozes out, if you will, when he is locked in on the defensive end. And so far, the Wolverines doing it on both sides of the floor, doing it in bunches, shooting the ball, rebounding the ball, blocking shots, getting steals, jumping passing lanes, shooting gaps, swinging around the perimeter, knifing into the lane. Really everything you could hope to see, and the team in the middle of the season in mid-season form.
It's really just been an all-around, totally complete game, a complete effort from, honestly, you know, what many consider the most complete team in the country. And I think that Michigan really needed to come out here and make a statement that, you know, Northwestern's really been the one huge challenge up to this point in the season, and a 22-point lead at halftime is great.
And in a year in which, as we alluded to earlier, the draft talent, not the greatest, certainly a lot of talent on the floor for this Wolverines team. But just looking across the country, and at this point in the season, it's really moving day, these Saturdays and Sundays, where every single team plays big conference games, road tilts for top 25 teams. We saw Duke almost fall yesterday at Florida State. We've seen Virginia face every test to this point. The only other undefeated team, a true testament to just how talented and resilient both Michigan and Virginia are. Another team at the top, Rick Barnes' Tennessee, Gonzaga, and Mark Few always in the mix. Michigan right now, though, right before we head to break, ranked second in the second in the AP media poll, fourth in the coaches poll, top 5 in KenPom. Where do you think this team stacks up in the national picture? I know there's a lot of season left. Lots of things can change. Players get injured. Players develop unexpectedly. Things can change in a heartbeat. But at this point in the season, just before we send it to break for halftime, what are your thoughts, Adam?
I think that while this team doesn't necessarily have the star power or some of the other teams up top, like you said, you know, Cam Reddish, R.J. Barrett, and of course Zion Williamson for Duke, and Admiral Schofield, among others, at Tennessee and things like that, there's not going to be names mentioned among those elites. But I think the fact that Michigan just so deep and so well-rounded and so well-coached, I think Michigan stacks up with the best. And, you know, number 2 ranking, I think rightfully so, and I think, you know, arguably could be even higher. And I love the way this team is shaping out and developing as the season goes on.
Absolutely no real variation at the top. Every single top 4 team last week received a first-place vote. Several first-place votes, to be exact, for each team. So certainly an excellent season of college basketball shaping up. An excellent second half, surely to be Northwestern, who knows always a thorn in Michigan's side, a penchant almost always for cutting down leads and playing tough no matter what, really personifying Coach Chris Collins. Once again, for Adam Bernstein, my name is Adam Rich. We brought you WCBN's exclusive coverage of Michigan basketball. Hang around, we'll be back in about 10 minutes, but instead, you'll be treated to the likes of Emily Herard and Alex Kramer. Once again, WCBN Sports' official coverage of Michigan basketball. We'll be back in about 10 minutes. Stick with us.
Welcome back to Chrysler Center for the second half of WCBN's call of Michigan basketball. I'm Emily Herard here with Alex Kramer as the Michigan Wolverines lead the Northwestern Wildcats 50-28 after the first half. In the first half, John Teske put on a show with 17 points, shooting 7 for 8 from the field. Alex, what did you like that you saw from the Wolverines in the first half, and what do you think Northwestern has to do to claw back into this game?
Well, just looking at the Wolverines, usually you look at them and you see Iggy out there leading the team and Swag leading him out there with his energy. But today we saw from John Teske, he stopped a couple fast breaks on his own. He was playing great defense. And today it parlayed in some offense. 3 made threes for him. And we're up here listening to some of the Northwestern radio guys. They didn't even know he'd shot a 3 yet. So this is a guy who doesn't shoot well, and he's in here shooting amazing today with some big energy. And if they can keep that energy going up here, they might be able to hit the century mark and potentially blow these Wildcats out. But if you're the Wildcats, you're looking here and you just haven't taken care of the ball very well. This is a team that's dominated taking care of that ball, that Coach K model that Chris Collins has molded his Wildcats after. And today, almost every player that's taken the court for the Wildcats has at least one turnover, all but one player do. And it's something that Michigan's defense has caused over the course of the year, but they still have to do a better job of staying within their offense and not allowing turnovers to be the narrative for the second half.
And that's a good point. And then although Derek Pardon has 10 points, it seems like as the Wildcats tried to feed him the ball down low, the Wolverines defense just been stifling. Teske has 2 steals on the night, and it's just been hard for them to get him good looks down low.
Pardon's played very well, but when you have a defense like Teske and Matthews and Livers and everybody comes at you, everybody's got their hands up, everybody's grabbing for the ball, it's tough to do anything. And without Vic Law today, it's just really tough down low for the Wildcats.
We're about to start the second half. Wolverines up 50-28. Now as the Wolverines take the court, we have Simpson, Razdakis, Poole, Teske, and Matthews. Now the second half ready to start. The Wolverines with the possession. In for the Wildcats is Pardon, Nance, Turner, Taylor, and Kopp. And now Poole ready to inbound the ball to start the second half for the Wolverines. Poole chatting with the ref as they wait for play to start. Poole with a little tap on the back to the referee.
Having a little fun with him. Nothing's ever too serious for Jordan.
But now the second half is off. Poole inbounds it to Simpson. Simpson top of the key, guarded by Nance. Up top, Teske reversed it to the left wing to Matthews. Matthews up top to Poole. 19 seconds on the shot clock. Hands it off to Teske. Teske handoff back to Poole. Poole finds Iggy. Iggy drives left to the basket. Layup is good.
Great job there by Iggy, switching hands in there, finding the opening in the defense and attacking it.
Turner has to call timeout as there is no Wildcats back for the ball. Bad start for Northwestern after they let Razdakis get to the basket for 2 and then some confusion on the other end.
Just some mental errors there from Northwestern that you're just not accustomed to seeing from a Collinsworth team. You know, you're really used to seeing them play tough, gritty, and well on both sides of the ball, and right now we're just seeing them making these little mental errors with fouls, and on that play, just no point guard back to get the ball. It's just a mental lapse. That's one of the reasons that they're losing by over 20 right now.
Yeah, as a coach, there's nothing, you know, that you'd want to happen like that after the start with only 28 seconds to start this second half, and you have to call a timeout just because, as you said, a mental error on the part of Northwestern.
And you hope it doesn't come back to bite them in the tail, but timeouts are important in today's game, and wasting one within the first 30 seconds, as you said, could come back to hurt him a little later on. Not much to comment on, though, in the first 30 seconds. We're really ready for a break here. But you got to love Northwestern sticking to their defense, coming back out in his zone, laying off of Xavier Simpson. They really didn't trust him in that first game, and they don't seem to trust him now at all. Not really threatened by his outside game, even though he's made a 3 today. But Northwestern staying true to form thus far.
Simpson does have 12 points on the night, 2 for 5 from 3. But as you said, Northwestern is leaving him open out there.
Good to see if you're Michigan, though. You love to see him attacking. Love to see him shooting from deep. Not too often, but it's good to see him staying aggressive out there. He's played well leading the offense this year, and you know the Wolverine faithful are getting a little bit spoiled with all these great guards out here. Derek Walton, Trey Burke, now you got Xavier Simpson. Pretty much the best defender of the bunch. I mean, it's good to be a Wolverine fan right now.
It is, and it's great to have your point guard as someone who can lead the defense. That always brings great energy to the team. It goes all the way through to number 5.
A lot of energy on this team. Haven't seen it much from Iggy today, but normally someone who brings it. Poole, as everybody knows, likes to bring his swagger to the court. And then you got some of the quiet giants on the team like Teskey, Charles Matthews. But it's a good mix of those high energy guys and some of the guys that set them down a little bit. And it shows with the temperament on the court.
Now play about to resume. Northwestern to inbound the ball. It's Taylor who will inbound it to Turner as soon as play starts.
Longer break there to start. Looks like they might have taken a media timeout there. Can confirm that Northwestern does have someone ready to receive the ball this time.
And now it's A.J. Turner bringing the ball up for the Wildcats. He crosses the timeline, met by Simpson. Now to Nance. Nance guarded by Iggy. To Turner. Turner then hands it off to Taylor, right wing. Back up top to Turner. Turner drives into the paint, puts up a floater over the defense. No good. Tried to be tapped in. It's corralled by Teskey.
Iggy playing some great defense there. Teskey right behind him.
Now the other way, it's Simpson. Up top, he gets in the paint, kicks it out to Iggy. Spin move in the paint. Puts up the shot, no good. Rebound to Turner. Wildcats the other way.
Good job keeping your hands up by Northwestern.
Great pass up to Pardon, and he finishes with the lefty layup. It's 52-30, Wolverines lead as Simpson brings it up the court. Gives it off to Poole. Back up top, Simpson. Now there's an off-ball foul. That will be on Taylor. That'll be his first foul. Now Anthony Gaines checks back in for Miller Kopp.
And that last field goal by Parton broke a nearly 3-minute scoring drought, trailing back to the first half.
Simpson.
Wildcats.
Now in, up top, Poole 4-3. That's no good. Rebound by Gaines. Gaines pushes it up the court against Iggy. Goes for the righty layup, strong. No good, but he is fouled.
And the Wildcats taking a page out of the Wolverines' book from the first half, just getting that ball off the board and just running straight down the heart of the defense. And looks like Collins is going to elect to go a little more aggressive here. And if you're down 22, it's not a bad route to take.
Now Anthony Gaines steps to the line for the first shot. His first foul shot is up and in. 52-31, 18-20 remaining in the game. Gaines with a second foul shot. That one rattles in, hits them both. Wolverines up 20.
With those two free throws, Wildcats stay perfect from the line.
Now Simpson gives it to Teskey, top of the key. Off to Brosdingtis, almost has it tipped away. Poole able to maintain it for the Wolverines. Dribbles to the right wing. Looking to get it to Teskey, throws it down low. Teskey out of the corner to Iggy. Loses control of it and throws it away to Turner. Turner in transition going against Matthews. Spin moves, pulls up, knocks it down.
Nice little spin there off of Matthews. Matthews looked a little surprised by it, taking it back, but good play to get on the board for the Wildcats.
52-34. Poole hands it off to Matthews. Up top, Teskey versus right wing to Brasdinkus. Up top, Simpson. He's going to drive left for the layup. Has it blocked by Nance. The other way, it's Northwestern. Taylor in transition. Up to Gaines. Gaines goes for the layup. No good. Falls to the floor. Rebound, Matthews.
Couple of telegraph drives there. Tired. Both teams knew exactly where each player was going to go with that ball.
Matthews gets a screen from Teskey. Takes it all the way for the left-handed layup. That's good.
Nice little Euro step there from Charles Matthews. Good to see him being aggressive in the second half.
Northwestern now on offense. Turner up top for the Wildcats. Gives it to Gaines. Now to Pardon, top of the key. Left wing back to Turner. Guarded by Simpson. Now to Pardon for a three. Hits short, front of the rim. Rebound, Simpson.
Second miss of the night for Pardon. Not the best three-point shooter in the land.
Simpson working his way down along the baseline. Kicks it out to Teskey for the elbow jumper. No good. Rebound, Nance, and foul on Charles Matthews.
Matthews not happy with that one. It looked like he just reached over the head of Pardon. Close call there. Beeline doesn't look too happy either.
Now Wildcats the other way. It's 54-34, 6:20 in the second half. Now Gaines hands it off to Nance. Top of the key, 17 seconds on the shot clock. Back to Gaines, he's guarded by Poole. To Pardon. Pardon dribble, hand off Turner. Back to Pardon. Nifty move in the lane, and he gets the layup.
Nice little Euro step of his own going over Poole. Great job there. Poole staying home on that one. Not much you can do there as a defender, but put your hands up.
Simpson to Poole. To Matthews. He drives right, brings it back out to the wing. Now up top, Brasdakis. He pulls up for three. No good. Rebound by Nance.
Beeline giving Iggy an earful on that one. Not happy with that shot selection.
Now the other way, a deep three by Turner. No good. Rebound by the Wolverines.
It's Collins' chance to shake his head. His own freshman for taking that one.
Now Simpson to Matthews, who drives into the paint. He's going to be called for a charge. Nice move by Gaines to get his feet planted. He knew where Matthews was going on that drive.
Collins is elated by that one. Beeline angry with the call. It's a 50-50 call. Ref's got to make one way or the other. So.
And now we'll go into immediate timeout. The Wolverines are up 54-36. Just over 15 minutes remaining in the game. And so far, this second half has been a bit slower for both teams. For the Wolverines, Northwestern made a run there, as you said, trying to push it fast in transition, draw some fouls. But they're still down big against the Wolverines.
Northwestern doing a better job of playing their game, playing some really good defense now in the second half. You want to see them keep doing that, turning that defense into offense. What they've done here early, they've cut this lead by 4. It's still nearly 20 points, and you want to see them get it closer and closer. But starting off the second half the right way, and if they keep doing this, they might have a chance to keep cutting into that lead. Got some free T-shirt action here in Chrysler.
Yeah, it's once again a great crowd in Chrysler, and it's been exciting. The Wolverines started this season off 16-0. Michigan faithful have been in the building for these wins. Last home game against Indiana was quite the excited crowd.
And that was a game when most of the students were gone for break too, so you love to see the fans coming out and supporting the team, and when you have an undefeated team, the product's not bad either, so it's fun to come out here to Chrysler, see a really good ball club play, and we're getting some high-quality matchups here too.
And the Wolverines are just a fun team to watch. As you said, Jordan Poole always, has a smile on his face, just having fun. And I think that's what makes this team so great. is that they're out there having fun. And, you know, a team performs at their best when they're relaxed and playing as a group and just, you know, putting their heart out there. And I think that's what the Wolverines do every night. And it makes it a really fun basketball to watch.
Couldn't have said it better myself. So many characters on this team, and they really love each other out there. They love playing together, and they love having fun together, and it really shows. And the fans love getting into it too, and you know it creates for a great basketball environment here at Chrysler, and you know we've really seen it transform over the last couple years into a place where every game, no matter the opponent, you're getting a sold-out crowd and a team that's coming to play, and it's great to see if you're a Michigan faithful.
And as you said, so many personalities on the team, and that's what makes John Beilein such a great coach, is he lets his players, you know, be true to their personalities, and he's really able to find, you know, their strengths and help bring that out on the court, but never stifle who they are. And you know, that's like I said, what makes this team special.
Yeah, you've seen Poole let his personality show a little bit too much on the court, and I think Beilein does a great job of trying to rein that in just a little bit, let him play with his natural swagger, but not take it away too much, not make him a little bit of a dumb basketball player, which it can at times.
Exactly.
And he's the best at that. He's done that with Iggy, and Charles Matthews had a little bit of a problem when he was at Kentucky doing that. So we've seen Coach Beilein do that time and time again with his players.
Now action back on the court, Northwestern on offense. Anthony Gaines hands off to Taylor. Back to Gaines on the right wing, and he's going to be fouled by Poole on the floor.
Poole's second of the game.
And now with that foul, we'll have Eli Brooks check in for Jordan Poole. Now sideline out of bounds. It is Gaines to trigger for the Wildcats. He gets it in up top to Turner. Turner dribbling, gives it back to Taylor. Taylor going against Brooks in the paint, kicks it out. Pull up by Turner, and it gets lodged between the backboard and the rim. Jump ball, and it stays with Northwestern.
Rarity in basketball. The shot that gets stuck, but it's going to stay with Northwestern, and nothing really changes on this possession.
Baseline out of bounds, it's Turner. Wolverines defense strong, but they get it in to Pardon. Pardon has it knocked away by Matthews, but it's going to be out of bounds off the Wolverines.
Teskey playing all the way up to the M on that one. Not the best defensive situationing for the Wolverines.
Wildcats get it in again to Pardon. On the left wing, handoff to Nance. Nance going against Charles, 20 seconds on the shot clock. Nance looking down low to Pardon, has it knocked away by Teskey. So for the third time, Northwestern will take it from the baseline, 15 seconds on the shot clock.
Very chippy, aggressive defense from the Wolverines and stifling the Wildcats a little bit.
Turner gets it in up top to Pardon. Handoff back to Turner, drives to the basket, puts up the floater off the glass, no good, but he is fouled.
Touch foul there from Xavier, and the crowd does not like that one bit. But when you're playing that aggressive style of defense, you're going to get a couple fouls here and there. It's not the end of the world. But the Wildcats have been very good from the stripe today, 100% on only 3 shots, but they have 2 more now.
A.J. Turner puts up his first foul shot. That one bounces high and in. As Miller Kopp checks in for Ryan Taylor. The score is 54-37. The Wolverines lead. 14:30 remaining in the game. The second one bounces out. Wildcats' first miss of the night from the foul line.
The Wolverines on a 2-minute and 45-second scoring drought now. So they're going to have to try to get back in their own offensive rhythm.
Simpson to Brooks. Now to Matthews. Matthews top of the key. Hand off Teskey. Teskey to Iggy, who drives the basket, has it blocked, but Teskey's there to corral it. His layup's no good. Gains the other way for Northwestern.
A little bit off offensively now, the Wolverines.
Wolverines to Nance, now to Kopp. Kopp spin moves off the glass and in. 54-39. Wolverines still in their scoring drought as fans get to their feet, try to cheer on a basket for Michigan. Brooks dribble hand off to Matthews, top of the key, gives it back to Brooks, pulls up for the three, right wing, that's short. Rebound to Turner. Turner up the court, gets a screen from Pardon, gives it to Kopp on the right wing, has it blocked by Teske. Teske corrals it, passes it up to Iggy. Iggy in transition into the paint, kicks it out to Brooks for a left corner three. That's in and out. Rebound, Matthews with the putback. Wolverines put 2 on the board.
Couple missed opportunities by Eli Brooks there. 2 open threes, not able to convert. But Charles Matthews is able to clean up and in the scoring drought.
Kopp, great pass down low over the defensive hands to Pardon for the slam.
Great pass there, a lot of touch on that one.
50.
Just perfect pass.
56-41. Wolverines now on offense. Swings it to Simpson. Simpson to Matthews, the left corner. That's long. Rebound to Gaines, but there's going to be a foul on Iggy as he went for that offensive rebound. Isaiah Livers checks in for Iggy.
Second of the game on Iggy. And just getting a little too aggressive going in for the ball on defense, a little too aggressive going for the ball on rebounds, just reaching where the Wolverines and Beeline knows that they shouldn't be. And the referees are not having any of it here.
Now the other way, Northwestern. Gaines on the right wing. Up top, Pardon. He's not guarded, so he decides to take the three. That's no good. Rebound, Gaines. He kicks it out to Kopp. Kopp picks up his dribble, gives it back to Gaines. 20 seconds on the shot clock. Now Turner will bring it up top and slow it down. 15 seconds on the shot clock. Now Nance. Nance drives against Livers. Pulls up for the jumper. No good. Teske with the rebound. Simpson the other way. Simpson working. Now gives it to Brooks. Brooks working against Nance. Gives it to Matthews. Back to Brooks. Brooks, that back. Thought about the three. Said gives it to Matthews. Matthews drives right. Pulls it back out. Now up top, Simpson. Simpson for the three. No good. Rebound to Gaines. Gaines the other way. Now to Turner. Turner dribbles up top. 20 seconds on the shot clock. Michigan leads 56-41. 11:20 to go. Now Turner to Pardon. Pardon dribble handoff. Gaines. 6 seconds on the shot clock. Gaines goes up against Teske. Throws the ball over the backboard.
Great
ball
defense.
to Michigan.
Great defense there by Teske, putting his hands straight up.
Now we're going to go into a media timeout. It's 56-41, 11:09 remaining. The Wolverines are 1 of 9 on their offensive possessions. What do they need to do to get back going on the offensive end?
The Wolverines have really been out-rebounded in this second half, and they're still winning the rebound battle overall, but they were dominating in the first half, and now Northwestern has cut it. It's only a 3-point margin, and it's just a dominating effort in the first half that's really struggled. And Teske looks a little bit tired out there. He's played every minute of this game so far, along with Charles Matthews, and it's really tough for him right now to keep that high energy level up. Austin Davis hasn't seen any time thus far. And also three-pointers. They've taken 20 thus far this game, haven't hit many of them. We saw Brooks come up empty on a couple, and Xavier Simpson missed one just recently.
Yeah, Teske was hot from 3 in the first half, but as you said, since then in the second half, they've gone cold from 3. Right now, it looks like Teske has been subbed out of the game. Get him a little bit of rest, as you said. He's working hard down low on the defensive end, so Beeline, get him out of the game for a couple minutes.
Already has a double-double today. Just got that 10th rebound, 17 and 10, so great performance. So 11 minutes left in this game, and he's already got his double-double.
Well, Austin Davis will check in for Teske, his first time in the game.
It's going to be interesting to see how well Austin Davis plays. Haven't seen him a ton in Big Ten play. He's really struggled on offense and defense for the Wolverines, and has contributed somewhat in the rebounding department, but he's got to work on his foot speed, got to keep up with defenders, and it's going to be an interesting battle here between him and Pardon.
As Pardon leading the way for Northwestern with 16 points, 8 for 12 shooting. He shot 3 threes, missed them all, but out for the Wildcats is Pardon, Kopp, Gaines, Turner, and Nance. For the Wolverines, Matthews, Poole, Livers, Davis, and Brooks.
Pardon's played really well, and in the absence of Vic Law, who is arguably a first-team All-Big Ten player, he's played really well, 8 for 12 from the field. His only misses have been 1 deep 2 and 3 threes, which, you know, those really aren't his shot. He's trying to make up a little bit for Law's loss, but he's playing real well inside and doing all he can against this tough Michigan defense.
Yeah, it'll be interesting now out of the timeout to see what Pardon does against Davis for the Wolverines for the first time this game. As both teams take the court. Wolverines up 56-41.
Taylor's going to take a break for the Wildcats. He has 10 for them, so a much-deserved break for him.
Now the Wolverines bring it up the court. It's Eli Brooks. Gives it to Jordan Poole. Poole going against Kopp. Gets some space into the lane. Turnaround. Puts up the hook shot. No good. Gets his own rebound. Now Livers. Matthews in the corner, tries to get it to Davis. Instead, it's stolen by Gaines the other way against Brooks. Blocked by Matthews, but they're going to call a foul on Eli Brooks.
Brooks arguing that he was playing solid defense, hands straight up, but got bumped a little bit when he was in the restricted zone, so that's a tough call, but one the refs are going to have to make every time.
Matthews tried to get it down low to Davis, but lofted that pass up with the long hands on defense. Got to bounce that into the post. Now Gaines at the line for the Wildcats. He makes the first. Pardon back in the game for Benson. He was just in to give Pardon a quick breather. Oh, it's 56-42. Gaines puts up the second shot, and that's in. Eli Brooks with the ball, crosses the timeline.
Wolverines still struggling on offense here. Only 6 points in the half.
Brooks to Poole. Poole kicks it to Matthews, left wing. Gets a screen from Davis, drives baseline, dunks it in, and one, Charles Matthews.
All made possible by yours truly, Austin Davis. Great screen down low to free up Charles Matthews on that drive. Great play by the big center coming in for his first minute of the game.
And now John Teskey and Xavier Simpson will check in for Davis and Eli Brooks. Along with Ryan Taylor for Anthony Gaines. Charles Matthews with 12 points on the night. Puts up his foul shot, gets that one to drop. Now has 13 as the Wolverines lead 59-43. Turner, now to Nance. Kopp on the left wing. He's guarded by Poole. Up top to Pardon. Dribble handoff back to Kopp. Now Taylor on the right wing, guarded by Matthews. Back up to Pardon. Drives against Teskey. He gets the lefty layup to go over Teskey.
That's really hard to do. Get something right over Teskey. Long arms, tall. But good defensive play by Teskey. Just a little bit better offense by Pardon than his 18th point of the game.
Wolverines up 14, just under 10 to go. Poole drives left. He is fouled hard. Misses the layup, and he'll go to the line for two.
And he got whacked on that one. He earned both of these free throws, and the Wolverines have struggled a little bit from the line, only shooting 67%, so it's going to be important for him to hit both of these, get them on a little bit of a run here. Hopefully he can see the ball go into the basket. Only has 3 points on the day.
That foul was on Derek Pardon, his second of the game. As Jordan Poole gets the first one to go. That's the Wolverines up 15. Poole only 4 points this evening. His second foul shot is good. Now the other way, it's Turner. Gives it up to Nance. Nance guarded by Livers on the left wing. Now Pardon reverses it to Kopp. 15 seconds on the shot clock. Good shot fake by Taylor and puts up the 3.
Poole's not happy on that one. Thought there was miscommunication with Simpson, and now they're going to get back into their offensive sets.
Teskey reverses it to the left wing to Matthews. Back up top, Teskey. Now right wing, Simpson. 13 seconds on the shot clock. Simpson trying to get to the basket. Gets past Nance and he is fouled. That'll be Nance's third foul on the evening. Team fourth, as now Simpson heads to the line for 2. Wolverines up 61-48.
Simpson struggled a little bit from the line here. He's done well today. Let's see if he can finish both of these.
And now Simpson knocks down the first to give him 13. Now 9 minutes remaining in the game. Wolverines up 62-48. Simpson misses the second. The rebound's going to be tapped to Nance. A.J. Turner gives it to Kopp. Now up top, Taylor, guarded closely by Matthews. Gives it back to Nance. Nance tries to float the pass down low to Taylor. It's stolen by the Wolverines. Quickly the other way, it's Simpson. Gives it to Poole. Poole kicks it back up top. Simpson for 3, knocks it down.
Simpson with his third three-pointer of the game. And he's played real well today. His 16th point of the game. Almost up to the high of 17 with Teskey.
Great pass and awareness by Jordan Poole to kick it back out to Simpson. Now the other way, it's Northwestern. Pardon up top, 12 seconds on the shot clock. Dribble handoff to Kopp. Kopp, great pass to Nance, who cut baseline for the layup. Simpson brings the ball up. Just under 8 remaining. Wolverines up 15, 65-50. Simpson up top. Finds Livers in the right corner. He knocks down the 3.
Great shot by Livers. Shot that one with confidence. He knew that one was going in even before it left his hand.
Isaiah Livers with 6 points. 2 for 2 from downtown. Kopp up top. Poole tried to steal it. Instead, he gets it down to Pardon. Pardon going against Teskey. Spin move. Great defense by Teskey. He has to pass it back out to Taylor. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Taylor up top. Said now there's going to be a foul on the floor on Charles Matthews.
Matthews not happy with that one again. It's going to be his third foul of the game. And Matthews has really struggled today keeping onto the ball. 4 fouls, 4 turnovers. So not a great game for ball control for Charles Matthews.
We're going out into this timeout. It's 68-50. 7:18 remaining in the game. The Wolverines hit 3 of their last 3 from the field, getting back in rhythm a little bit with knocking down some 3-point shots.
Wolverines bench has really struggled to get into this game today. Only 6 points, all of which coming from Livers. And Davis and Brooks have really not provided them anything at all in terms of scoring. 1 rebound for Brooks, 2 assists, so he's played well in the defensive end as well, so obviously valuable minutes, but still all the scoring has come from the top 5 from the Wolverines. Really the top 4 as Jordan Poole's had a little bit of an off day with 5 points. And as this one's getting closer and closer, looking to be like a victory for the Wolverines, it can be interesting to look forward and see what happens when you take away a couple of these options, when you get into facing a little bit of a better opponent like maybe Michigan State, and a couple of these guys are going to be neutralized if that bench can maybe provide a little more scoring.
Yeah, and as you said, Austin Davis hasn't provided much, but he hasn't gotten much time. He just came in for a little bit for Teskey to have a quick breather, but as you said, you know, it's important to get contribution off the bench, and if you're in a situation down the road where you have your starters in foul trouble, you got to get some of these guys off the bench with some more experience in this Big Ten play so they're ready to step up.
And we've seen Brandon Johns get a little bit of a go in the past couple games, especially against Indiana and Illinois, which has been good. He's a freshman from East Lansing who's played very well and in some sparing minutes this year, and if he can take on a little bit of a bigger role going in further and further into Big Ten play and closer to tournament time, that'd be very good for the Wolverines, who already have a short bench. But some of these guys like Eli Brooks and Isaiah Livers look to be the only viable options, and when they're not giving you much off the bench, it's really going to be relying on your top four of Iggy, Charles Matthews, Xavier Simpson, and John Teskey to give you points.
Now we're getting ready to come out of this timeout. Said the Wolverines up 18, trying to finish off Northwestern and remain undefeated, moving to 17-0 if they complete this victory.
And Northwestern has really been the closest team we've seen to beating them this year, coming down to the wire when these two teams played in Evanston. Only a 2-point game, so if Northwestern, if anybody in the Big Ten can pull off the upset, Northwestern is the team to do it.
Now Ryan Taylor at the line. He makes the first. We'll get a second attempt. He has 13 points on the night. 68-51. As he puts up the second one, and that's in. The other way now, it's Simpson. Simpson up top, going against Nance. Gives it to Jordan Poole. Poole drives right, has his shot blocked by Turner, out of bounds, remains with Michigan. In for the Wolverines, it's Matthews, Poole, Simpson, Livers, and Teskey. And for Northwestern, Pardon, Gaines, Taylor, Turner, and Nance. Simpson ready to trigger from the baseline. He gets it in up top to Teskey. Back to Simpson. 12 seconds on the shot clock. Simpson dribbling up top. Dribbles right. Pulls up for the elbow jumper. Knocks it down.
And he had the mismatch. Switched on to Pardon, and Pardon could not keep up with the speed of Xavier Simpson.
Dribble hand up top to Taylor. Back to Gaines. Gaines drives against Poole. Kicks it back out to Taylor. Taylor up top, guarded by Matthews. Now Nance, left wing. Back up top, Taylor. Puts up a contested three. That's no good. Rebound, Poole.
He's feeling himself a little bit there. A little bit of a heat check, but Collins is not going to be happy with that shot, especially when it's contested as that one.
Now Simpson up top, trying to dribble some time off the clock. 13 seconds on the shot clock. Wolverines up 70-52. 6 minutes remaining. Simpson gets into the paint, puts up his hook shot. That one's no good.
Already made one today, so you know he can make those. Good attempt there, even if it didn't find its way home.
The other way. Matthews rejects Pardon at the rim. Looks like maybe he got poked in the eye, but Livers up the other way with the layup. No good, but he is fouled.
Important to see if Matthews is okay on that one. It looks like he got a finger to the eye. Still a great block there.
Yeah, after a great rejection, it looks like Pardon's hand probably knocked him right there in the eye on the way down. As Isaiah Livers will now head to the line for two.
He is going to stay in the game here, so you got to see that he's okay enough to play.
Livers hits the first. Wolverines up 71-52. Livers hits the second, and that puts the Wolverines up by 20. 5:40 remaining. Now Turner up top for Northwestern, gives it to Gaines on the right wing. Pardon tries to take another three. That one's no good. Now 0 for 4, rebound to Simpson.
Struggled from that distance in this game. And he struggled really all year with that shot.
Now Simpson kicks it to the corner to Matthews. Matthews dribbles into the paint, kicks it back out to Poole. Dribbling up top, 13 seconds on the shot clock. Now finds Simpson, left corner, puts up the three, knocks it down.
Simpson with his 4th three of the game, up to 21 points for the team lead now, and he's really starting to get in his game.
You said Northwestern not really respecting him from out deep, but he's 4 for 8, 21 points. Now Northwestern down 75-52. Pardon trying to get to the basket, and he does past Teskey and Matthews, 4-2.
Great drive there off the dribble. Gets him to 20 points on the game.
Yeah, Derek Pardon really stepping up for Northwestern today with 20.
Not getting much help though. Only one other player is over 10 points.
Xavier step back three, knocks that down. Simpson feeling it tonight. He now has 24.
And it was John Teskey, the unlikely three-point shooter in the first half. Now it's Xavier Simpson. So Wolverine faithful getting behind some great three-point shooting in this one.
Northwestern passes down low to Gaines. Gets the layup, but Northwestern just left Simpson wide open for three. Kind of thought about it for a second, how wide open he was, and just knocks it down.
Didn't think about it for too long and nailed that one, but a great pass on the other end by A.J. Turner down low. Able to find an open man for an easy two. So good response there by Northwestern.
Simpson dribbling down the clock. He feels it. He's going to put up another three, but that one's no good. Rebound to Gaines. Anthony Gaines up to Taylor. Taylor down low, Pardon. Meets the double team, dribbles out of it. Now down low to Gaines, going against Matthews. He's going to put up the hook shot. That one's in. 78-58. 3 minutes remaining.
Nice little response here to that little run by Xavier Simpson and his threes. You got a missed attempt from Michigan on that end and 2 easy layups on the other end. So a good couple possessions here from the Wildcats.
Wolverines now on offense once again, working down the clock. 8 seconds remaining. Jordan Poole kicks it out to Teskey. He's going to try a three. That one's no good. Simpson knocks the rebound, delivers, and the Wolverines will get a fresh shot clock. Good job there by the Wolverines to work down the clock, then get the offensive rebound. Really trying to work down this clock. Now timeout on the floor. Michigan, they lead 20 with just 2:19 remaining in this game.
And we've seen a little bit of a game of runs in this second half. Northwestern will get 6 in a row, and the Wolverines will get 6 in a row. And no one's really been able to pull away or get this game a little bit closer. But good effort by Northwestern in this second half to really stay with Michigan and not allow this lead to balloon any further.
Yeah, now people starting to leave Chrysler confident in their Wolverines. They're going to move to 17-0. Greatest start in program history.
And they're doing it from the defensive end. They had 12 turnovers caused in this one, only 8 given up by them. So they're winning the turnover battle consistently every game. And very few of these games that they've won, these 17 games, have been close. They've won a lot of these by more than 10 points. This one they're winning by 20 right now. So they're not just winning, they're blowing out their opponents. And for any Wolverine faithful who were kind of hurt by last year's devastating loss to Villanova, if you wanted any start to the year, this is the one you'd want. And this team looks ready for March, looks ready for Big Ten tournament play. And this is a dangerous team led by a couple youngsters, a couple veterans, and this team has a defense to go far in the tournament.
Exactly, and as a fan, continue to follow the Wolverines as they go to Wisconsin Saturday, January 19th, and tune in to WCBN's broadcast on Tuesday, January 22nd as they're back home against Minnesota. We'll have the call for WCBN for that game.
A couple of great matchups there. Start off with Ethan Happ on John Teskey. I don't know if there's many big man matchups you'd want to see in the Big Ten or even the country that are better than that one. And then you got a couple great players in Nate Mason and Jordan Murphy for the Gophers coming to town. And you can see how Xavier Simpson, Charles Matthews are going to match up with them. So a couple of great games coming up here for the Wolverines before you get a stretch of Michigan State and Ohio State and then Maryland all at home. So it's going to be a really tough stretch for them coming up. But Big Ten's a hard place to win. It's a hard place to play, and the Wolverines are going to get tested often in the coming weeks.
Yeah, every game in the Big Ten is a tough one, and so when you can get a win like this, really boost your confidence. And John Beilein's going to have a lot of things that the Wolverines need to work on going forward, but this will be a great win for Michigan. Just over 2 to go. Poole up top. He's going to dribble, puts up the floater. It rolls in for Jordan Poole. Add another 2 for the Wolverines.
Poole hasn't played great today, but gets a 7th point. Struggled early in the first half, but it's come up strong in the second. It's his 7 points. And really playing well to end the game, which is what you always want to see.
Now Wildcats get it into the paint. Gaines unable to make the tough shot. It's going to go out of bounds. We're going to say it's off the Wolverines. Give Northwestern another chance. Now the Wolverines putting in their bench for the remaining 138.
Get some of these guys minutes. And you got somewhat of a veteran in Isaiah Livers staying in with them.
Wildcats try to get it down low to Benson. Goes up for the dunk and he's fouled by Livers.
Got most of the freshman class in here now. Demetri Nunez, Brandon Johns, and looks like David DeJulius. Brandon Johns is the big one, number 23 from East Lansing. And Michigan fans and John Beilein want him to take a much bigger role towards the end of this year.
Zuna Harrison's in for the Wolverines as Livers sits down. And Benson misses the second foul shot. It's 80-59, 1:30 remaining in the game. DeJulius now up top for the Wolverines. He's guarded by Greer. He's going to dribble, puts up the lefty layup, no good. Rebound Greer.
Good drive inside. He's got to play through contact a little bit better, but a smart drive by the freshman.
Now ball down low to Benson, backing down, spins, move, hook shot, no good. Rebound is going to be corralled by Gaines. Gaines dribbles baseline, kicks it back out to Kopp. Kopp puts up a 3, no good. Rebound tipped around. Benson gets it once again, going strong into the paint, up and under. He's going to be fouled this time by Johns Jr.
Brandon Johns is just getting pushed around down low now. A couple of rebounds. He just got out-muscled. And the first one going off his hands here, but a couple of bonehead plays by Nunez as well, leading to an open 3. So not a great possession from these youngsters.
Benson gets the first to fall. Now Tino Malnati checks in for Northwestern. And Anthony Gaines will sit down for the rest of the evening. Just under a minute to go. The Wolverines up 80-60. The second foul shot, no good. Julius now the other way. Wolverines again will eat this clock. 44 seconds remaining. Julius working against Greer. Now it's going to be stolen the other way by Kopp. The Wolverines get it back. Now 26 seconds remaining in the game. Shot clock just barely less than the game clock. Wolverines will dribble it out.
Shot clock is off now.
The Wolverines will end this up 20, 86 over 80 to 60 over Northwestern. And there's a foul with 1.7 seconds left of the game.
Ref's not going to let just everything go on this one. And the Wolverines will be able to end it in just under a minute now with 1.7 seconds left. Wolverines really emptied their bench in that one, only playing 8 players up to about the 4-minute mark and then getting everybody in. Good to get some of these youngsters time in front of these Michigan fans, especially the Michigan students who are largely here still. Getting some name recognition, getting some playing time in here, and a good win for the Wolverines.
The Wolverines win it 80-60, and they move on to 17-0, remain undefeated. It's been a great season so far for the Michigan Wolverines, and a great game tonight against Northwestern.
Some great games from the defensive stars of the Wolverines, Xavier Simpson and John Teskey with 24 and 17 respectively. John Teskey with a double-double. The defensive stars played some offense tonight. And in a game when you have Jordan Poole coming up a little bit cold, it's good to see that that everybody for the Wolverines can get involved and everybody can score. And it's really promising heading forward into Big Ten play.
Yep, the Wolverines will be back on the court Saturday, January 19th at Wisconsin, and back home against Minnesota on the 22nd. Again, WCBN will have your call for the next home game, as well as the call for the Michigan women's basketball team on Sunday against Ohio State. We thank you for tuning into WCBN's broadcast of Michigan basketball. I'm Emily Herard alongside Alex Kramer. We'd like to thank you. Have a good night and go blue.